Number 8. The MV Sewol. Today we embark on a fascinating voyage into the depths of the ocean, where time stands still and history is preserved beneath the waves. In this video, we'll be diving deep to explore the awe-inspiring world of vessels that have been recovered from the seabed. From legendary warships that once ruled the high seas to opulent ocean liners that met tragic fates, the story behind these sunken ships are as diverse as they are fascinating. Join us on this incredible journey as we will unveil the remarkable tales of some of the most incredible vessels that were once lost to the depths but have now been reclaimed and brought back to the surface. And first on our list today is the story of the MV Sewol. The sinking and subsequent salvage of the MV Sewol is a tragic and harrowing chapter in South Korea's maritime history. On April 16, 2014, the ferry carrying 476 passengers and crew was en route from Incheon to Jeju Island. The journey was intended to be a routine voyage, but it would quickly turn into a devastating disaster. The MV Sewol encountered trouble when it made a sharp turn. The vessel was carrying an excessive amount of cargo, all of which was poorly secured and overloaded. This imbalance, combined with the abrupt maneuver, caused the ferry to capsize. Panic and confusion ensued as passengers and crew struggled to evacuate the sinking ship. Tragically, 304 people, mostly high school students on a field trip, lost their lives in this accident. The sinking of the MV Sewol shook South Korea and led to widespread outrage. Investigations revealed a series of critical failures, including lax safety regulations, inadequate training of the crew, and a lack of proper evacuation procedures. The tragedy sparked significant changes in South Korea's maritime safety regulations and led to a national conversation about accountability and safety standards. Efforts to salvage the MV Sewol were complicated by treacherous conditions in the waters off Jindo Island, where strong currents, frigid temperatures, and low visibility prevented formidable challenges. It took several years of planning and preparation before salvage operations could begin. But in March of 2017, a massive operation involving a semi-submersible ship and a team made up of divers and engineers commenced. The vessel then was carefully lifted from the seabed and was placed on a barge. Then, finally, the MV Sewol was transported to a dry dock in Mokpo, South Korea. Before we continue, if you're joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button to unlock a treasure trove of incredible videos. And don't keep your thoughts to yourself. Drop a comment below and tell us what content you'd like to see next. Number 7. The Vasa. Commissioned by King Gustavus Adolphus of Sweden in the early 17th century, the Vasa was intended to be a symbol of Swedish naval power and a formidable warship. However, the ship's maiden voyage on August 10, 1628, would end in disaster. Shortly after setting sail from Stockholm Harbor, the Vasa, with all her cannons fully armed, heeled over and sank to the depths of the Baltic Sea. The exact cause of the sinking is still debated, but it's believed that design flaws combined with poor weight distribution contributed to her tragic demise. And unfortunately, the Vasa claimed the lives of at least 30 crew members. For over 3 centuries, the Vasa sat forgotten and preserved in the cold, brackish embrace of the Baltic Sea. But in 1956, a Swedish amateur archaeologist named Anders Franzen located the wreckage using old maps and historical accounts. The ship was remarkably well preserved thanks to the frigid waters of the Baltic Sea. The salvage operation that followed was an engineering marvel. A massive effort involving divers, cranes, and careful planning spanned a total of 4 years. Then in 1961, the Vasa was raised from the seabed, and its recovery marked a momentous achievement in marine archaeology. The ship, once lost to history, had finally been reclaimed from the depths. Today, the Vasa is a centerpiece of the Vasa Museum in Stockholm, where visitors can marvel at the remarkably preserved ship and its richly decorated interior. Number 6. The Mary Rose. Commissioned by King Henry VIII in 1510, the Mary Rose was a formidable warship, boasting a powerful array of cannons and serving as the pride of the Tudor fleet. On July 19, 1545, during the Battle of the Solent with the French fleet, fought just off the coast of Portsmouth, the Mary Rose suddenly keeled over and sank. According to a first-hand witness report, the ship fired at the French fleet and attempted to turn when an abrupt gust of wind forcefully toppled it onto its side, allowing seawater to flood the vessel through the cannon hatches, which had been left ajar. The loss of the Mary Rose was a tragic event, with around 500 crew members perishing. Then the ship stayed undiscovered beneath the waves for centuries, slowly becoming buried in silt and mud. In 1971, after years of research and planning, the ambitious salvage operation to recover the Mary Rose began. Divers, archaeologists, and engineers worked tirelessly to raise the vessel from the seabed. The painstaking process took several years, but in 1982, the Mary Rose was successfully lifted to the surface. The Mary Rose, along with a vast collection of artifacts, was carefully preserved and has become a time capsule of Tudor naval history. And today, the Mary Rose Museum in Portsmouth houses the ship and its artifacts, allowing visitors to step back in time and explore the lives of the sailors who served aboard this iconic vessel. At number 5, the USS Monitor. The sinking and subsequent salvage of the USS Monitor is a remarkable chapter in maritime history that unfolded during the American Civil War. Commissioned by the Union Navy in 1861, the USS Monitor was a pioneering ironclad warship, boasting a rotating turret that housed 2 powerful cannons. It was a symbol of innovation and represented a new era in naval warfare. But on March 9, 1862, the USS Monitor famously clashed with the Confederate ironclad CSS Virginia in the Battle of Hampton Roads, a historic encounter that marked the first time ironclad warships faced off against each other. The battle was inconclusive, but it changed naval warfare forever. Tragically, though, less than a year after the Battle of Hampton Roads on December 31, 1862, the USS Monitor encountered a fierce storm off the coast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. The rough seas overwhelmed the warship, causing it to sink with the loss of 16 crew members. For over a century, the USS Monitor rested at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, largely forgotten but not lost to history. In 1973, the wreck was discovered by researchers, and a dedicated salvage effort was launched. Over the course of several years, divers and engineers carefully recovered the vessel's iconic revolving turret and other artifacts, including the anchor, propeller, and steam engine from the seabed. Today, many of the ship's artifacts are conserved and displayed at the USS Monitor Center in Newport News, Virginia, where they serve as a testament to the ship's legacy and the dedication of those who salvaged it from the depths of the sea. The remainder of the ironclad warship was transformed over the years from a weapon of war into an underwater haven for marine life. Then, in 1975, it was designated as the first national marine sanctuary, known as the Monitor National Marine Sanctuary. And today, as you descend into the depths of the site, you'll be greeted by a thriving ecosystem, teeming with life and a vibrant diversity of marine species that have made the USS Monitor their home. Number 4, the SS Great Britain. The SS Great Britain, a pioneering passenger ship of the 19th century, holds a unique place in maritime history for its revolutionary design and remarkable salvage and restoration efforts. Designed by the renowned engineer Isambard Kingdom Brunel and launched in 1843, the SS Great Britain was a trailblazer in naval architecture, featuring an iron hull and a screw propeller, a groundbreaking combination at the time. The ship's service was marked by several notable achievements. It was the first iron-hulled ocean-going passenger ship, and it set a new standard for safety and speed. The SS Great Britain served various roles over the years, from luxury passenger liner to transporting immigrants to Australia. However, changing times and technologies eventually led to its retirement in 1884, after which it was abandoned and partially sunk in the Falkland Islands. But the story of the SS Great Britain took a remarkable turn in 1970, when a dedicated salvage effort led by naval architect Ewan Corlett began to rescue the ship from its watery grave. The ambitious endeavor involved refloating the ship, towing it back to its place of birth in Bristol, England, and undertaking extensive restoration work. It was a great feat of engineering and perseverance, as the ship had to endure a treacherous journey across the Atlantic Ocean. Today, the SS Great Britain stands as a remarkable showcase of Victorian engineering and maritime ingenuity. Painstakingly restored to its original splendor, it now serves as a dynamic living museum. Here, visitors can immerse themselves in a bygone era, journeying through the ship's cabins, exploring the intricacies of its engine room, and discovering an array of historical artifacts. If given the chance, would you explore a sunken ship on a diving expedition? Let us know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel. Now, let's move on to number 3, the USS Hunley. Commissioned by the Confederate Navy during the American Civil War, the H.L. Hunley was a pioneering submarine, and its design represented a bold step forward in naval technology. It was intended for covert underwater missions against Union vessels, with a hand-cranked propulsion system that relied on human effort. Hunley remarkably suffered not one, but 3 sinkings. The first was during a test run in 1863, an accident that claimed the lives of 5 crew members. The vessel was then salvaged, and just a few months later it sank again, this time during a training exercise, resulting in the loss of all 8 crew members. Notably, one of the casualties was the submarine's inventor, Horace Lawson Hunley, even though he wasn't part of the Confederate military. And once more, the Hunley was raised and restored to operational status. But on the night of February 17, 1864, the Hunley embarked on its 3rd and last mission, one which proved to be fatal in Charleston Harbor. Its target was the USS Housatonic, a Union blockade ship. So in a daring maneuver, the Hunley approached the Housatonic and planted an explosive device on its hull, successfully sinking the enemy ship. However, shortly after this triumph, the Hunley itself mysteriously sank, taking its 8-man crew down with it. The vessel was located in 1995, more than a century after its last sinking. The subsequent salvage operation, carried out with great care and precision, culminated in the successful raising of the submarine in the year 2000. Now, the H.L. Hunley is on display at the Warren Lash Conservation Center in North Charleston, South Carolina. The examination of the recovered artifacts from the Hunley suggested that it was in close proximity to the USS Housatonic when its deployed torpedo exploded, leading to its own demise. At number 2, the Seawise Giant. The Seawise Giant, originally known as the SS Knock Nevis, holds a prominent place in maritime history due to its extraordinary size, its sinking during the Iran-Iraq War, and its remarkable salvage. Built between 1974 and 1979, the Seawise Giant was the largest ship ever constructed, measuring a staggering 1,504 feet in length, with a deadweight tonnage of over 560,000. It was initially used as a supertanker to transport oil and had a capacity of over 4 million barrels. During the Iran-Iraq War in 1988, the Seawise Giant fell victim to a missile attack while anchored off the coast of Larak Island, Iran. The attack resulted in a massive fire that ultimately led to the ship sinking, causing it to list heavily and come to rest on the seabed. It was considered a total loss and was virtually abandoned. However, the story didn't end here. In the years following the war, the wreck of the Seawise Giant was the focus of ambitious salvage efforts. The ship's sheer size posed immense challenges, but determined engineers and divers worked tirelessly to refloat the vessel. And in 1991, after 3 years of meticulous work, the Seawise Giant was successfully raised from the depths. Following its salvage, the ship underwent extensive repairs and was renamed the Happy Giant. It returned to service as an oil tanker, albeit with a reduced capacity. The Seawise Giant's remarkable resurrection showcased the capabilities of modern engineering and the determination of those involved. In 2009, the ship was renamed once again, this time as the Mont, and was eventually scrapped in 2010, marking the end of its long and eventful life. And at number 1, the Kursk. The Kursk, an Oscar II class submarine of the Russian Navy, was conducting a naval exercise in the Barents Sea when a catastrophic explosion rocked the vessel. The explosion, in August of 2000, attributed to the detonation of a torpedo, resulted in the sinking of the Kursk, with all 118 crew members on board tragically losing their lives. The incident sent shockwaves not only through Russia but all across the world. The Kursk came to rest on the ocean floor some 90 miles off the Murmansk pilot station at a depth of 354 feet. The subsequent salvage operation of the Kursk was an international endeavor, involving teams of specialists in heavy lifting, salvage, diving, and marine activities. The sub, with an approximate weight of 9,000 tons when prepared for the main lift, presented a formidable challenge. A 24,000-ton deadweight barge known as Giant 4 was deployed as the lifting and transport platform. An innovative approach was then devised to address the instability of the Kursk's damaged bow section. A specialized saw wire was employed to cut through the submarine's hull, separating the bow from the rest of the vessel. This intricate operation involved cutting 26 holes into the pressure hull, attaching lifting cables, raising the Kursk to a position beneath the Giant 4 barge, and transporting the barge-submarine combination to Murmansk. The Kursk was then safely delivered to the Murmansk dry dock on October 22, 2000, marking the successful conclusion of a monumental salvage operation and setting a new world record for lifting the heaviest object from such depths. Which of these raised ships would you most like to visit and see with your own eyes? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. We hope to see you in the next one. Until next time, bye for now.